Welcome to my channel. Make sure you subscribe, like and comment.
Welcome, guys, once again to another recap review of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please, guys, make sure you click on the subscription button down below to subscribe, like, and comment with us an opinion about everything we're going to be discussing on this video. So we've actually missed 2 episodes of the show. Yeah, those 2 weeks have been very stressful and hectic, but we are back. So episode 9 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. How would you rate this episode, living for my girls?
I would have to give it maybe about a 5.5. It was, I mean, if I could combine the last 2 episodes together,
Yeah,
it made for good TV for the last two.
yeah,
We're just gonna combine them together.
exactly. What you're
What
saying
about
is
you?
absolutely true. I feel like the episode has been kind of interesting, and surprisingly, I'm not gonna lie, surprisingly, I have started falling in love with different people from the show that I didn't think I was gonna fall in love with, and those that I
Mhm.
thought that I was gonna, be in love with them. My perspective is kind of changing about them, so it's a new
Right,
kind of feeling to be
right.
having on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So
Hmm.
yeah, now I think now it's getting at a pace that I like. Unlike when were in episode 1, 2, 3, when it was like, what the heck is going on here? So I kind of I'm liking it. Now,
Okay.
let's go ahead and start with the first thing that happened in today's episode. We had the opening of Portia with her mom and her sis. I don't know whether it's her sis or her cousin. I don't know who that is, but she looks like her, so maybe her sister. And they were
Hmm.
discussing about the facts that about the Angela stuff. But I want to sound this thing. It seems like Simon really did a number on Portia because it seems like she cannot shoot in that house. Have you
Right.
noticed that every time she is doing a shot for the show and she's in the house, it's never in that house. It's either her mom's house, somebody else's house, but never on that house. See, I know I say Simon. Simon is a very calculative human being.
Okay.
He literally, Simon, like literally planned it or did whatever he did to frustrate Portia's life. He knew
Mm.
that Portia was coming back on the show because of the fact that Portia signed that ink on the paper because she knew that she was divorcing Simon. She wanted to use it as a storyline and she
Hmm.
wanted to milk the storyline. And he was like, you know what? That's not what we're gonna do.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna nip that on the bot. We are not going to do that. You're not gonna be able to use the storyline. You're not going to be able to use my house. Man,
Hmm.
he is. I don't know where to say whether he's a genius or a wicked person because yeah, there's a thin line between being a genius and wicked. Because
Uh,
when I say he's genius, because he did a good number to make her not be able to use the house and not talk about the storyline like that. And when I also say wickedness, it takes a certain level of yeah to be able to do that and see through it. But no,
right.
yeah, Simon, Simon, take your roses for either being wicked, for either being wicked or being a genius. But back to Portia. Portia with her mom and her sis talking about the Angela stuff and being like, why would you go to your bedroom and not be asleep? I'm like, everything Portia was saying during that scene was excuses upon excuses for me. For me, and
Hmm.
I'm a Portia fan. So that's very disappointing for me that I'm a fan of Portia's. And the fact that I was seeing that scene was very irritating to me to watch. The way she was trying to be like, oh, we girls we make fun. And I'm like, if somebody is making fun about you, Portia, would you be smiling?
Right.
Would, if it was the reverse was the case and it was Angela that was saying those things about you, Portia, would you be smiling? Like, would you have those teeth shining like you were shining in that kitchen talking about Ashley? So I felt like that was pure double standard, and I was disappointed in Portia for kind of trying to make a case for herself for saying that useless word that she could literally F Angela's husband. I don't care what kind of joke you are on. I don't care what kind of tipsy you are on, because sometimes when you're tipsy and high, that's when your truth starts coming out.
Exactly.
So you want to deny or lie to the fact that, oh, I was drunk, I was high, we're already on some numbers. Sure, yes. But we also know that when you are drunk, when you are high, your truth comes out.
Yeah, but something about that Henny that makes you talk. You
Mhm.
know, everything
So
you're thinking is gonna come out.
her trying to hide it under the Henny was like disappointing to me, because I know that that is not it.
Nah, that was her truth. Because hey, she has to find another guy to pursue, and going after married guys seems to be her MO lately. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I mean, all I could think is maybe Dennis just did a number on her where she thought that that was her forever, because she went through the marriage with the first dude, and he wasn't right for her. He was degrading. She was afraid of him. She was scared to wear certain stuff. You know, then she gets with Dennis. She thinks Dennis is gonna be her everything. She wanted a baby. She got the baby, and then there he goes, blown in the wind. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'm not defending her, but it just seems to
Yeah.
be her MO. And she goes after men that are unavailable, and she flirts with them. And then, eventually, if she can catch them, she catches them, you know, and
Mm.
so hey, hide your husbands. That's all I can say. You know what I'm saying?
Not to hide your husband.
Yeah, hide your
Mm.
husbands. Portia's on the way.
Oh God, not hiding your husbands though. That's unfair.
Yeah, but hey, that's how she's rolling right now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So all we can do is sit back and watch.
Yeah. But the thing I want to ask, did you think that it was nice of her trying to make excuses for the comments and disregarding um Angela's feelings when she was talking about it to her mom and her sis?
Nah, that wasn't cool because she was nonchalant about it. Like, I don't remember if I said it or if I did say it, but then I did call her Big Bird, and then, I could have said, that I should go screw her husband, but I don't know if I said it. No, I didn't say it, but yeah, but I think I did say it. But yeah, I said it. Like, make up your mind, you know. So yeah, maybe Angela felt like, hey, I can be cool with these group of girls. They're a little younger than me. You know, and
Mm.
you know I'm married, I'm secure in my marriage, even though some of them are out of their marriages or one foot out the door or whatever it is. She probably felt like, hey, maybe I found my village, you know only for
Mm.
them to not really like her like that. It's almost like Kenya isn't there anymore, so maybe they're looking at Angela like, she's the next one we can kind of bully as a older woman,
Yeah.
because you notice that what's her name? Cynthia isn't
Brit.
really around that much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't even know what Cynthia's role is on this season.
A friend of the group, the
Okay. She
OG.
doesn't have a pitch.
Yeah, she's an OG of the group. You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, so I guess Angela's like the new target right now. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. So let's go ahead and also talk about in the episode we also saw Dennis come and Portia had a conversation
Hmm.
about the Drew stuff. Like I'm not gonna lie, I'm tired of this Drew storyline. If Portia has
Yeah.
nothing else to offer, please exit. Right?
Right.
Um, but seeing she decided to talk about it again this episode with this guy, I got pissed off because the guy was like, it's just business. We sat down, had a chat, it was business. Unfortunately, the cameras were there. That's all.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
the part that kind of rubbed me in a certain way, I wouldn't say whether in a bad way or in any way, but I know it rubbed me in a certain way was when she kind of was trying to insinuate because of a text message that was, oh my God, a text message that didn't sound like what she was saying, sound like, how am I supposed to put it? She read out a text message, right?
That
And she
didn't
said,
make sense.
oh, when she was reading the text message, it didn't make sense considering the thing she was kind of accusing him for. I was like, how does this text message relate? She was like, oh, but that's what you mean that you and her were trying to sleep with each other. I'm like, why are you forcing Dennis to kind of or in a certain way admit that him and Drew kind of, or whether Drew wanted to come off on him or he wanted to come off on Drew? Like, Portia, why are you trying to make the insinuation? The text message made absolutely zero sense. And I'm disappointed that at that age that Portia is, she cannot differentiate between or read between a line when it comes to a text message. How did that text message that was on his phone translate to probably having something with Drew?
I don't know. My thing was, it's like, why are you clocking Drew's coupon, coochie coupons? You know what I'm saying?
Even Dennis's. Why is she
Yeah.
clocking his?
Yeah.
Because they are no longer married. She has no
Well,
absolute right.
she done moved on, and she done had a whole husband, all on the internet. She's happy. She's showing her butt. She's showing her little gifts. She's showing her new life. You know what I'm saying? So if this is what this man wants to do, you are no longer involved with him like that. You guys are co-parenting. It's almost like you're turning into uh, roommates basically that don't live together. You give each other that respect, like, hey, how you doing? All right, well, I'm gonna pick the baby up at this time or bring the baby back to me at this time. You know what I'm saying? You're There's no relationship there, no romantic relationship. So I wouldn't care. If it was me, once I'm done, I am done. I don't care what you do because you'll never be back this direction again. So, hey, carry on, live your life, you know. But it was just crazy to me how she act like she was a little jealous and upset. I mean, the way they play together is like there's still something there. There's still something there, you know. But I guess Dennis is gonna have to make the move because Portia ain't gonna make the move, but she just gonna keep showing her jealousy.
Exactly. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I'm so disappointed in Portia because why are you making an issue with wherever Dennis put his PP? He's allowed to put it anywhere and
True.
everywhere. He isn't married. He isn't even married to you, except if there's a form of relationship they are not trying to tell us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Except there's a form of relationship that is going on between both of them that they are not trying to tell us. Except that I don't need to be caring about where Dennis is putting his stuff at. And I also do not need to care about where Drew is putting her stuff in. Because she's also getting the divorce. She let me say maybe she wants to wait till after she's finally divorced, but she's also free to go out there. So I effing don't care about that situation in any shape or form. But I don't understand where Portia's point of view is coming from.
Right. No, I would just hope that, well, I can't even hope, but I would hope, well, yeah, I guess I would hope that Drew isn't like just all out there like that, all outside. You know what I'm saying? Simply because y- I can understand going through a divorce and you're living in two separate places, but you guys are under the same roof. I would have like a guilty conscience. I wouldn't be able to do that if we're still under the same roof, you know. But once I know we're in proceedings and my mind is made up, life is short. I'm gonna live my life. But if we're still under the same roof, nah, I can't. I can't. That's just like trying to smoke a cigarette in front of your mama. You know what I'm saying? Some things you just can't do, you know? So, yeah. Uh, I hope that she's not, but if she is, hey, she's grown, you know.
Exactly. Let's just see how that will play out. But for me, I'm already tired of the storyline
Mhm.
because it isn't making sense. Now, there's one part in this that happened in this episode that I did like was meeting Brit's family. I think there's a storyline there.
Yeah.
Um, when we had them in their mother's house, the mother was trying to pack up because she wants to sell the house, and the father
Hmm.
has passed away. I love the family dynamics and I love the little cracks that is there because it's what family is.
Right.
Yeah, I loved when I saw it. I was like, yeah, can we get more of this? I want right now. I want to see Brit's sister. I want to see how she will overcome probably the sale of the house finally happening. And is
Hmm.
that going to make or bend the relationship between her and the mom? I want to see that. I hope the producers, this is not going to be just, oh, one time story we just show you guys by the passing and that's it.
Right.
I hope that it's not going to be because I did enjoy that storyline.
Yeah, it was definitely nice to see, the family dynamics, of sometimes a dysfunctional family, but yet a family that could come together in crisis. You know, um, Knowing that her mom, she said her father passed away a year after he built the house, and that was in 2014. So, it's been what, 11 years that she's been living in this huge house alone, except for when the kids and grandkids come. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can understand where, you know, there's a different chapter in her life that she has to go through, you know, and it's a scary but exciting chapter, and it's a journey, you know, and it was pretty interesting to see that some of the girls had their opinions on, well, you're selling all my dad's stuff and he worked too hard for his stuff and you're just gonna just get rid of it. I Me personally, I would have been like, baby, let's get a storage where we can place all your dad's stuff in there, and out of the proceeds of selling the house, I'll pay the storage for a year. After that, you have to pay it. You know what I'm saying? I probably would have did something like that. But yeah, it's gonna be good to see that her mom is moving in with her, like her mom says, for a while, you know. But it's gonna be nice to see a different dynamic, inside of Brit's house, and see how that plays along.
I would literally want to see how that will play out. I wish, most of this producer life is not juicy scandal. We already saw I don't know whether you saw the mid-season trailer for the remaining episodes.
Yeah, I did.
So it doesn't look as if they're gonna give us any more on that. But I just hope that it didn't make the cut for the trailer, but we're still going to get it. That's my prayer.
Yeah,
That's
hopefully.
my prayer. Yeah. Um. So now the big thing, the big moment of the episode was when they met up. The whole cast members met up, and
At the Bailey Q.
he said,
The Bailey Q.
"Yes." I don't understand what Cynthia's stuff. Like I said before, I don't understand Cynthia's purpose of coming back on the show because this is 9 episodes now. She's been basically invincible, useless, and confused. So I don't know why Cynthia is back on the show. But anyway, the event, everybody was there, and the talk about the I'm gonna sleep with your husband stuff came out. Now, there's one thing I want to talk about: the fact that Angela had an issue with Brit, and Brit kind of and Brit trying to be like, you get what you give. That was very disappointing because I'm pretty sure that if it was Brit that somebody said that about her husband, she wouldn't, with her wide mouth, she would not be like that. She would have been tearing that person up. But because it's Angela now, you're trying to make a case. But this is why I say I've been falling in love with Angela for the past 3 episodes
Mm,
because she be calm but standing on her ground.
right,
She be calm and telling you how she feels.
right.
She be letting you know that, you know what? Yeah, that's how it is. So I'm falling in love with Angela so much. And I love the
Mm.
read she gave to Brit in today's episode. Especially when she told her that I don't think that for me, I felt like Brit did not understand what she was trying to say. I don't think Brit understood what she was saying
Are
to
you
her.
you talking about the stretch marks around your mouth
Yeah, like
part?
from the mouth thing to the stretch mark on the mouth. I laughed so much because I was like, are you sure Brit understands what she's saying?
It probably flew over her head. Yeah, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I don't think she got it. Maybe now as the show is being replayed, as now she's watching herself, she would now be like, "Oh, that was what she meant." Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But it was nice to watch Angela give that read to Brittany
she deserves it.
because I feel like Brit be doing too much.
Yes.
She be doing too much. She be saying too much. It's quite annoying.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. But it was really humorous. I enjoyed it. You know, Nothing like a good read, especially when somebody deserves it. You know, and I mean, like I said, it's just like now Angela's the underdog. Everybody has something that they want you know, to get off their chest towards Angela. And all she's trying to do basically is try to keep the peace.
Um,
Bring the women together.
yeah. I I love that. And like I said, I love how Angela read breaks. Now, another problem I did have was Shamea. The fact that she was kind of supporting Portia for saying that, it
Hmm.
rubs me the wrong way because she's also married.
True.
So
I
it
mean,
was ununderstandable.
yeah, I understand Angela's, point where she held Shamia to a higher standard, you know, but she did that without really even knowing Shamea. Because when it comes to Portia, Shamea's gonna let Portia slide with everything, not unless it's directed at Shamea. For everybody else, it's a key moment. You know, so yeah, Shamea is like, hey, I laugh at everybody's jokes. I laugh at this. I laugh at that. Everything is humorous to me. Okay, that's fine. But then when you're talking about somebody's marital contract and somebody's talking about trying to step in and break it, that you're laughing. You're talking about breaking somebody's home, whether it's in joking or behind every joke, there's something serious about it. You know what I'm saying? Behind every put down that
Yeah,
somebody says jokingly, there's something real in it.
yeah.
So yeah, these
I,
wouldn't be my type of girls to hang me being
yeah.
married, you know. So I kind of feel for Angela because right now her marriage is a target.
Um, yeah, I kind of felt bad for Angela, but I also could not stay sad for her because she stands her ground.
Well, yeah, I don't feel sad for her. She's a grown woman, and sometimes you put yourself in positions and you got to either deal with it, fight your way out of it, or blend in with it. You know what I'm saying? So she says she ain't no fake bitch, so we gonna see.
Yeah, we're absolutely going to see. But I'm loving Angela. I'm also loving the very petite one. Ah, I've forgotten her name. Oh, but anyways, maybe we're gonna remember in next week's episode. Now, do you feel that, like, okay, let me just ask this as best friend. Do you feel like Shemiz was a best friend or a good friend to Portia by deciding not to impute or correct her friend? Because that's one point I wanted to talk about mainly. Do you feel like she was being a good best friend to Portia?
Well, all I can say is from my point of view, if one of my girls around me is acting foul, one of my girlfriends, or associates that I hang out, whatever, they're acting foul, and they're coming for somebody, I don't want to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? It's not that I'm a punk or something, because I'm not. But I don't have time for all that. I'm beyond grown. You know. So yeah, I would have corrected my homegirl. Like, girl, what are you saying? Put the drink down, shut the fuck up. You know, because I don't want to be in the middle of this shit. You know what I'm saying? If
Yeah.
this is how you feel, say the shit when I'm not around, because I don't want to be in the middle. You know. And if I'm telling you I don't want to be in the middle, and somehow I get in the middle of it, yeah, I'm gonna be pissed off. I'm gonna be very pissed off because I warned you. So yeah, a good friend is gonna shut you down, especially when you're talking about breaking up somebody's marriage, infidelity. You know,
Um,
that's not cool. So yeah, I mean, that's what I would have did. In Shamea's case, like I said, if it doesn't directly affect Shamea, if she would have said, "Oh, Shamea, yeah, I'm asleep with your husband," then Shamea would have a goddamn problem. you know. But hey, it was
mhm.
Angela's husband this time. Hide your
Yeah.
husband. Hide your husband.
Not the hiding husband again. But anyways, I'm beginning to like Angela. I hope she grows on me. Okay, although Liverpool has won, but I do love Angela a lot.
Yeah. Can we talk about what's her name? Brooke? Is that her name? The waffle lady. What's
Ah,
her name?
yeah, I forgot her name.
Brittany. Is it
Oh,
Brittany?
wait.
Darn it. Okay, we'll come up with her name in a minute. But anyway, like, why would you spend all that money on giving your puppy a party? What the hell? I thought that was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, what a waste of money.
Mm,
People are hungry. You know, you could have said, "Hey, I'm selling $2 raffles." You know, up to 50 raffles, and whoever wins get the $950 for your rent or whatever. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's all kind of things she could have did with that money. Besides, dye her dog, get them all cut up and bougied out with eyelashes and jewels, and give a puppy party. Yeah, these people are too bougie for me. Hell, when I had a dog, he was lucky he could come in the house. Shit. But anyway, I just want to get that off my chest. So, how did you feel about the puppy party? You so?
well,
Are you there?
yeah, I'm still
Oh,
here. Sorry, I
oh,
went
okay.
to I went to
Okay.
get something from my room.
Oh.
Um, for me, it was funny actually also watching that scene because I know right now in real life they are not good friends.
Mm.
So at the end of the day, what's the use for standing up for your friend that is not there for you and cannot do
Oh,
the same thing for you?
okay. So we went back to the Shamea thing. Okay, I get
Mm-hmm.
it. But I was talking about the puppy party.
Talking about hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, you no, I couldn't hear you out for a while. What did you say? What were you talking about?
The puppy party.
The puppy party.
Yes, for the dog.
Oh, that's what you were talking about.
Yes.
Oh,
I just thought it was a waste of money.
waste of time.
Yes. A
Too much
filler.
money.
It was a filler.
Yeah, they were confused on what to do. I know the thing is that most of the episodes they've been airing has been given, yeah, we don't know what we're doing, but
I
we just
agree.
want to raise the number of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's what is giving me, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Because that scene didn't even have to be shown.
Well, you saw the trailer where Angela and her husband kind of have a scandal.
I didn't really catch that part. So what happened
Oh,
now?
I think there's a scandal that will break out.
Oh,
I didn't put my ear
yes.
to that.
Yes. I did see some of that. I didn't understand really what was going on, but I seen that he was upset, and he told Brit's husband, "Don't touch him," or something, something, and then she was screaming and yelling, and looked like production was running around with their heads chopped off, and I was like, "Oh, it's going down!" Like, ooh, yeah, I seen that,
Yeah,
and I also seen that Phaedra is coming back to become frickin' frack.
yeah. I feel like uh, before we end this live, I want to ask: do you feel like Phaedra, not Phaedra? Do you feel like Portia is more of a friend to the cast than a cast?
Do I feel like Portia is more a friend to Phaedra than the cast?
No, Portia is more of a friend to the cast than a pitch holder.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, I kind of feel that way.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way. Except if there's a change on the upcoming episode, but for now, Portia is looking more like a friend
Hmm.
than a pitch holder, which is very disturbing.
Yeah, but she got to come up with another storyline though.
Yeah, since Simon has blocked the way.
Well, yeah, and the uh dentist thing is done supposedly. So what else is there? She's made peace with the girls, except for, well, Angela she made peace with. That was the last one, you know. So everything is cool. So she has to have another storyline. She has to stay relevant.
Yeah. But anyways, let's just see how everything is going to turn out. Let's see how it's going to turn out. But I'm enjoying the episode as it goes, and let's see how next week. I don't know whether it's next week that we'll get to see Phaedra,
Mm.
but I'm I'm waiting for it. I am. Well, guys, thank you very much for joining us on another recap and review of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Don't forget to like on the video, guys. The more you like, the more you should recommend this video. Don't also forget to click the instruction button down below. Don't forget to also um click on the instruction button down below to subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to this channel and like and comment your thoughts and opinion about the show. Before we go, did you see that there is last week's episode? I was so shocked. I guess we're talking about it here, but did you see that the last week episode was the season finale of Love and Married Detroit?
I don't really remember. Maybe I should have reviewed that before we did this podcast, but no, enlighten me.
That was I didn't watch it, but I just saw that it was the season finale and I was shocked.
Already?
Yeah,
Wow.
already.
Wow. I mean, I watched a couple of episodes, but I really wasn't feeling it.
At
You know
this
what I'm
point,
saying?
yeah, at this point, I feel like they should probably hang up the boots of every love and marriage franchise
Huh. Yeah.
because it looks like it's dead. Well, we're still waiting for Love and Marriage Huntsville. Let's see how that will turn out. Maybe that one is gonna do better. Because right now, I'm not gonna lie, the shows that are on TV are doing good. I
Mm.
don't know whether you watch them. I watch Never Have They Never Ever Met Never Ever Met.
Oh, okay.
Um I also watch another one, Somebody's Son. Hashtag Somebody's Son.
Mm.
So the shows are doing so much better than you sure the show was doing at least the Somebody's Son was always airing on the same day as was airing at the same day as Love and Marriage Detroit. So
Mm,
it was always doing better.
wow. No, I've seen never ever met. I've seen that before a couple of times. I think maybe a season ago, but I didn't catch it this season. And
Yeah,
Somebody's Son, I've never seen that.
yeah. It airs on the same night as Love and Marriage Detroit. I don't know whether
Mm,
it airs before or after. I've not really checked. But it
mm.
airs the same night as Love and Marriage Detroit. But anyways, thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you guys same time next week on another review of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye.